I would like to invite our honorable speaker, Dr. Ashish Sasankar sir, to please take his seat on the dais. I request our programs coordinator, Dr. Kalpana Pawar ma'am, to felicitate our honorable guest, Dr. Sasankar sir. With this warm welcome, I resume our academic tracks with session 3. To introduce our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Sasankar sir, I request Agrawal sir to please come forward.
All faculty members and dear students. It is a distinct privilege to introduce our esteemed resource person for today, Dr. Ashish Sashankar sir. Sashankar sir is an extraordinary academic leader, visionary researcher, and dedicated institution builder with over 25 years of rich experience in higher education and academic administration. He currently serves as the principal of Indraprasth New Arts, Commerce and Science College, Wardha. Furthermore, he steers technical innovations across the nation as officiating chairman of Indian Council of Technical Research and Development. As a premium technocrat, his expertise spans the cutting edge of artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, and cybersecurity. He has masterfully bridged the gap between complex technology advancement and sustainable institutional growth. His dedication to higher education quality is further highlighted by his role as a empaneled NAC coordinator where and assessor, where he actively shapes quality assurance framework for universities across India. Dr. Shashankar's scholarly contributions are deeply impactful. He has authored over 71 research publications, guided 9 PhD scholars, and holds 6 published patents. His pursuit of global excellence is evidenced by more than 70 international professional certifications from elite organizations like Microsoft and IEEE. His stellar leadership has earned him global and regional acclaim, including the prestigious Best Principal Award from Rashtrasangh Tukadoji Maharaj Nagpur University, Nagpur, and a spot among the top 100 educators worldwide by International Biographical Center, England. We are incredibly fortunate to learn from a leader who perfectly balances technological excellence with institutional governance. Dear participants, please put your hands together and give rounding applause to Dr. Shashankar sir. Sir, please.
So good afternoon to everyone. My voice is audible. This is a big challenge for me. Lunch is already over and already 2 sessions are over. So I'll try to make this a little bit entertained also so that you can able to understand this one. Okay. So good afternoon to everyone. It's my pleasure with you today for the session from equation to intelligence. Okay. Here I'm talking about the mathematics. How many are the mathematics student over here? Okay, all are from the mathematics. Okay. And how many are the researchers? Okay, you are the research scholar. So here I am interested to open a new area, that is advanced computing and artificial intelligence. Okay. So my topic of today is that from equation to intelligence. Okay. Where role of mathematics in a modern computing, artificial intelligence and data science. Okay. I'm giving a blended technology over here to you. Okay. So when we hear about the word mathematics, many of us immediately think about that equations, formulas, examinations, and also related with the difficult calculations. But today, I want to give you a different perspective. I want you to see the mathematics is a language behind the modern technology. That we are interested to talk over here. So I'll give some examples so that you can able to understand that one. When Google gives a search result, you know that mathematics is there. When you are working with the smartphone, it recognizes the face. There is a mathematical calculations. Okay. And when you are interacting with the chat GPT also, mathematics is working. So, so a journey of today is we are talking about the mathematics, then models, algorithms, learnings, and then we are talking about the intelligence. Let me begin with the one questions, that is, if mathematics is only about solving the equations, why does it power ChatGPT, Google, Netflix, self-driving cars, and modern AI? We often separate mathematics from the computer science. Okay, but you can understand that the foundation of a computer science or any field, that is a mathematics. So that's why we think mathematics always belong to the classroom. Okay, even our traditional education system, we learn mathematics only for the theoretical part and examination system. Okay, but we are not working on a real life. Okay, so here I am interested that to give a vision. Okay, to give the vision that how to implement that mathematical foundation in an application area. I'll give the lots of example also. Okay, so when we are talking about that, AI system represent information mathematically. Okay, I'm talking about artificial intelligence. Okay, that represent information mathematically, process is mathematically, and optimize is mathematically, and even you are doing a predictions that will also done mathematically. That's why mathematics play very much important role. And for the today's topic, that is beyond the classroom, to we have to learn how to make the applications over here. Okay, I'll just give the gist about that, the real life applications, how that can be related with the mathematics. So my session is of only 45 minutes and I'm not interested to go in the textbook, that is the calculation and all. Okay, instead of, we will take a journey. We will begin with the mathematics and computing. Then we will look at the discrete mathematics. I think you know about the discrete mathematics. After that, we will explore linear algebra. Then we can learn something about calculus and optimizations. Then probability and statistics. And after that, we will connect all these topics with the machine learning and deep learning, and finally we can see some real life applications. So my objective is not to make a expertise within this 45 minutes, but definitely my objective is to make you curious about this mathematics behind this intelligence. So one question again arises, that is why mathematics is important in computer. There are four simple answers. Okay, you must have to remember that one. Number one is precision. Number two is abstraction. Number three is efficiency. And last is, we know that real world is uncertain. So that's why number four is uncertainty. As we know that when we are interacting with the computer needs exact instructions. Okay. Mathematics always ensures the accuracy and eliminates the ambiguity. We know that one. Okay. And when we are talking about the abstraction, the real world is very complicated. We know that mathematics allows us to create a model that help us to understand and solve the problem. Okay. And efficiency, there may be a thousands way of to solve any problem, but mathematics is there, help us understand which approach is more efficient. And as we know that uncertainty, so when we are talking about the AI system, AI don't know the answer certainly. Okay, they work on the probability and the predictions. So that's why we must have to remember these four words, that is precision, abstraction, efficiency, and uncertainty. Okay, these are very much important for the AI. So look at these three questions. Here I have given over there. Number one, that mathematics asks, what is the relationship? Okay, mathematics, because mathematics works on the patterns, structure, and relationship. Computer science asks how I can calculate that efficiently. Okay, because computer science works on a algorithm, then procedures to compute it fast and accurately. And artificial intelligence can ask that machine, means AI builds a model that learn relationship from the data, makes the prediction and decisions. Okay. So everyone thinking about that, these three questions, that is mathematics, computer science, artificial intelligence, these are the different three topics or three subjects. But I'm saying that these are the three stages, okay, where which can be worked on a same intellectual journey. Means when we are working related with the machine learning, advanced computing and all, so you must have to blend all this technology, that is mathematics along with the computer science, and you must have to work with the artificial intelligence also. Okay. So let us begin with the one topic that is called as a discrete mathematics. Okay. Discrete mathematics, we know that deals with the objects and they are separated and countable. And we know that this logic can be worked with the computer science area also. That is, one is the logic, then graph, trees, relation, and combinatorics. Okay, I think that everyone know about this one. You may study these topics theoretically also. Okay, but let us now where they can actually work in a real life, that we can see over here. So we know that every computer makes the decision, and one of the simplest mathematical foundation of decision making is Boolean logic, that is true or false, yes or no, 0 or 1. Okay, suppose I'm interested to give any example, that if the attendance of student is 70% and he is having the 40% mark, then he is eligible for particular exam. Okay, so this is the Boolean logic. Okay, where the same idea appear in a programming also, and where we are using if else statement. You heard about if else statement, you know about the C programming and all. Okay, there is a if and else condition, means there is a decision, and same logic can be appeared in a digital circuits also. If you are working with the database, that also appeared over there. And if you are using a search engine conditions, that is a Google search, they are also using based on Boolean logic. And suppose you are interested to make an AI system, that is also based on simple Boolean logic statement, that is if else statement. Okay, so this is an important thing. If Boolean language is a Boolean language of a decision in computers and intelligent system. Okay, now let us talk about the graphs. Okay, we have talked about the discrete mathematics, and in the discrete mathematics we have talked about logic. Okay, Boolean logic. Then next part is also important, that is a graph. So when we are talking about the graph contain nodes and connections, you know about that one. Okay, so these are the three examples I have given over here, that is a social network, Google Web, and road network. Okay, suppose we are talking about the social network, you are considered as a node, your friend are considered also as a node, and the connection between that, the relation between your nodes, okay, that is considered as edges. Same, suppose we are talking about the Google or web pages, so web page is considered as a node, and the link between two web pages are considered as edges. Okay, same for the road network. Suppose we are talking city as a node, then the roads between two cities are considered as edges. So whenever you are think and connections, graph theory becomes a part that is very much useful over there. Okay. Another type of graph is also available, that is called as a tree. As when you are working with the computer, you have seen a file folder over there that works on a hierarchical structure, that is called as a tree. In decision tree, the same idea is used for making a predictions. So that's why trees and graphs are the, that is not a merely mathematical topics, but we can say that structure uses the mathematical concept. So that's why I have taken over here. Then just summarize over here, that is discrete mathematics uses logics, graph, trees, and combinatorics. And by using these combinations of graph, trees, and logic, we can create the algorithms. Means when you are going for a research, or suppose you are interested to create an application, or suppose you are interested to go for the on-job training, so at that time you must have to work on the algorithm which is based on this discrete mathematics structure, that is logic, graph, trees, and combinatories. And you're working with the algorithm, I think that is also given in a book, that is called as a shortest path algorithm, search algorithm, routing algorithm, then scheduling and optimizing algorithm. So the biggest message from the discrete mathematics, that mathematical structure leads to a algorithmic thinking. Okay, so you are interested to make an algorithm, you want to study of that, you must have the knowledge about logic, graph, trees, and combinatorics. Now we have to move perhaps the most important mathematical language for modern AI, we can say that is a linear algebra. If you want to understand machine learning and deep learning, vectors and matrices are unavoidable. Why? Because our computer needs a number, and linear algebra gives a powerful way to organize, transform, and compare these numbers. That's why I'm always saying that the algebra is a foundation behind the data, models, and intelligence in a modern AI. Means, suppose you are interested to make a deep learning methods you are interested to implement deep learning, artificial intelligence, so you must have the knowledge about the linear algebra. So this is the sub part of a linear algebra, that is a vector. We know that vector is simply a ordered collection of numbers. Okay, imagine student is representing using attendance, marks, projects, street scores. We could put all together into a one vector. That is in a numeric format. I heard it means, I think you know about the vector. The same idea can be used for the AI. An image can represent in a form of vector numerically. Okay, means suppose you are considering an image, you know that that is in a form of pixels. Okay, and pixels can be represented numerically. Okay, suppose you are typing any word in a Microsoft Office or something like that, so that will be automatically converted in a form of numerical format. Okay, suppose you are making a document, that also represent in a numerical format. And suppose any user is interested to work as a logger, so at that time also that will be converted into a numerical format. So that's why I'm always saying that the AI always use a geometry format. I think you heard about the geometry. Second part is related, that is a matrix, multiplications and matrices. Okay, as we know that suppose we are going to consider an image, so image always considered in a form of pixels, that is in a row and column format, and to represent in a computer science or mathematics we are using a matrix format for that. Okay, suppose we are using on an Excel base, that is a data set, which is always your data can be stored in a form of rows and columns. Okay, and that suppose we are interested to compute, so for that we are using a matrix. And suppose we are interested to work on a neural network, there is an enormous matrix multiplications are considered over there. Okay, because neural network using the layer technology, and that's why there should be a mathematics. So I always say that if we are saying that neural networks learns, one of the important interpretation is the model is learning its parameters. That's why we can say that mathematics is become a learning process. Now we come to the two terms that often frighten the students and research scholar, that is eigenvalue and eigenvector. I am also always afraid about these terms. Okay, but I try to make more simple for that. That is, imagine a transforming a vector, most of the vector changes its direction and length. Okay, but some vectors maintain their directions, that is called as a eigenvector. What I am saying that most of the vectors may change the direction and length, but some special vectors maintain their directions, that is called as a eigenvector. And the amount of they stretch and shrink, that is called as a eigenvalue, because data often contain important directions of variations. Now let us see the application of a computer vision. We know that image can be made in the form of pixels, then that will be converted into matrices, that will get extracted the feature of that matrix from the matrices, that will get embedded, and after that you will get a classifications. Okay, this is the one of the best example related with the artificial intelligence. You heard about that, their artificial intelligence system or robotic system can identify that whether this is cat, dog, or which animal is over there. Okay, that is based on this particular image. Even you are going for a cyber crime department, so at that time they are recognizing faces, and they are recognizing the names according to their faces. So these means that image can be based on this principle. What is that? Pixels converted into matrices, features, extract the features, embedded that features and classify that features. Okay. And make the prediction. Okay. Means in future, the research scholar, those who are interested to make a research, or student, those who are interested to make a project. So this is the one of the best project is available for the predictions of a face. Okay. Means suppose you are interested to implement attendance system in a college, or you know that now the scanning is available, face recognition is there. If you are going for to the airport, there is a face recognition is available. Okay, just you can go in front of them, you will get recognized there. Okay, so what technology they are using? They are using AI technology, and that is based on this simple criteria. Means if you have the good mathematics, na, so definitely you can able to create this system, because now we are working on a sixth generation. Okay, sixth generation of computer science, where we don't need hard coding. We don't need hard coding. Just you have to copy and paste. There are lots of tools are available. More than 10,000 tools are available for the artificial intelligence. You can create anything. Only you know the foundation related to how to create for that. Okay. And that is the important thing I want to tell you about that. To make a real life application, you must require only that how to go for that. And that's why I came over here, rather doing the classroom teaching and classroom learning, come this come outside of the classroom learning. Okay, make the real life application, and that's so easy. Now lots of people are using Instagram. You know, you're using Instagram. Everyone are using Instagram. We know that. Okay, but thing is that there are means. Have you understand that one? How they are created Instagram? Had you tried for that one? There is a Facebook. Attend Facebook is there also. Okay. Had anyone tried for that? Suppose I am interested to make a Facebook. What technology I have to use that? You can try for that one. Okay. Suppose anyone is interested for to make a simple PowerPoint software. So what is the technology for that one? Okay. Now in a world sixth generation, we don't need a computer knowledge. We need that how we can use the tools available on a Google. Okay. The best thing is that one, Google has given lots of applications free of charge for the student and all the teachers. You can try to use that one. Okay. And that contains the completely licensed software. Don't use pirated one. Okay. Because when we are using the pirated one, they don't have what we can say that they don't have all facilities. Okay, that is a trial version or something. They with not contain the advanced technology over there. Okay, so try to use that Google. Okay, second thing is that most of the people are interested to do the programming in Python. Have you heard about Python? Okay, now everyone, when we are talking about the artificial intelligence, na, at that time we are talking about Python only. Okay, but option of the Python, there is a one Google Lab is available, that is called as a Google Colab. Try to use that one. Okay, they have given all the facilities. Means what sixth generation is saying that rather doing means that hard work, do the smart work. Okay, means if I had a car, then why I have to go by the cycle? Okay, I have to use the car. The simple thing is that use all the tools that are available on a means websites. Okay, that you can use and create the applications. Okay, so here another real life example I have given, that is related with the natural language processing. Okay, what happened that in natural language processing, words and sentences are converted in a form of vectors. Okay, and vectors can be converted in a form of contextual representation. And this recommendation system, users and products, then vectors, and after that we are going for a ranking. So I'm always saying that linear algebra provides a language to represent, transform, and compare the data. Let us summarize linear algebra. We know that images can be become a matrices, words become a vectors. Okay, that is very much important. Okay, and documents becomes a embedding, user become a vector, products become a vector, neural network transform this representation and gives us a powerful principle, that is numbers converted into representation, converted into geometry, and that combination of numbers, representation, and geometry comes to an intelligence. So when you see the vectors and matrices in AI course, don't think this is just a mathematics. Think that this is beyond the future. Okay. Now we have a question. We have represent the data mathematically, but how does machine actually learn? This brings us the calculus and optimization methods. And this is the one of the most transition in our entire presentation, that representation is only not enough part. The model must be improved its prediction where the calculus enters. So calculus and optimizations provides the mathematical tool to minimize the error and makes the model better. Okay. Suppose an AI system makes the predictions, maybe a prediction may be a wrong. Okay. We would know about that one, okay, how this prediction is wrong. That is the purpose of loss and cost functions. But we need another piece of information. We need to know that if I change the parameter slightly, will my error will get increase or decrease? And that is where derivative comes over here. Okay, derivative tells us how something changes, and the gradient extends this idea in many parameters. So gradient is also important. You must have to understand that one. I think that these equations you know about this about the machine learning. That is theta becomes theta minus learning rate times gradient. In simple language, we can calculate the directions in which error is increasing. Then we move to the opposite direction. Imagine that you are standing on a mountain and want to reach the valley. We look at the slope. Then we take a small step to the downhill, then another, then another. That is the basic intuition behind this gradient descent structure. Okay. So we must know about that. Gradient descent is how machine learns from the data. It makes the errors, understand how to improve, update them, repeat them, and get better and better to the overtime. Here is the learning loop I want to show about that one. First, this is related with the neural network also. First, data enters into the model. Model makes a prediction. Number 3, then we calculate the loss. Next, back propagation calculation gradient is there. Then we will update the weights, and finally we repeat again and again and again. Okay, sometimes billion times we have to make that repetitions, and this concept is called as an AI learning concept. Okay, means as you're using a chat GPT and all, you can give the something prompt over there. Okay, means you are asking any question to the chat GPT, at that time you are giving a prompt, means you are asking a question. In technical term, that is called as a prompt. Okay. So when you are prompting anything to the chat GPT, it gives the responses. Okay. After that, you can ask sequential question to them. It will get memorized. Okay. And every time that learning process, it gives improved answers to you. Okay. And precise answers to you. You have seen an advertisement of the chat GPT related with the chai wala and related with the cricket. You have seen that advertisement. Okay. Lots of advertisement coming on the TV. Okay. They are asking some questions, but that is not an easy task. You must have to make the learning system, and after that you will get the exact answer. Okay. This is also one of the important thing. Learning also have the another challenge, that is, suppose I give a student the exact questions that will appear in an examination. Suppose I am acting as a teacher and I am giving the question to the student, that is a basic. He is going to memorize that one. Definitely we have that idea that we will get a good marks. Okay. But suppose we are talking about the AI, okay, it is not necessarily the model may perform extremely good. Okay. Because when we are talking about because in AI, in machine learning, we are using two data. Okay. Means one is called as the testing data, one is called as the training data, and another is called as the testing data. But suppose you are training that data that accuracy is up to 90%, maybe for the testing you will get accuracy of 50%. So that's why for that purpose we need optimization and generalization process. We must have to learn about this one, and this here also mathematics works. So when we are talking about the AI, data science, okay, inferences, advanced computing, there is an important term that is called as a probability and statistics. Okay, because we are making predictions and forecasting. Okay, so for that purpose, we know that the world is uncertain and AI rarely makes the perfect information. That's why don't rely on the artificial intelligence. Always you must have to do the cross verification. Okay, it must take the decisions based on the evidences, and probability is the language of the uncertainty. Okay, and statistics gives us the tool for learning from the data. Okay, that's why you must have to learn about the probability and statistics. I have taken one example over here. Considered as spam detections. The system doesn't know that this is a spam, this email is already spam or not. Okay, there is a high probability that is considered as a spam. In medical diagnosis system, when we are going to estimate that maybe there is a risk, financial system may be a fraud probability over there, and language model calculus possibility there should be some risk over there. Okay, so to make the confirmation, Bayes theorem gives a powerful idea that update your belief. Okay, means you are going to assume that one. For example, suppose you are getting an email. Okay, you feel that okay, this is a spam. That is one of the reason. Okay, but after reading that mail, finding some words, finding some statements, maybe your belief can be changed. Okay, maybe you see that okay, that is the important one. When you are using Instagram, you find out that okay, this is not a good miss reel. But after seeing some files, miss one second or 2 second statement, you will get that okay, this reel is good. I have to save that or I have to forward it back. Okay, so you must have to Bayes theorem tells that you must have to, what you have to do that, whether that is spam or that, you must have to make the confirmation. Okay, you must have to change the belief, and according to that, you must have to change the what we can say that probabilities. Okay, so this is a very much important thing, Bayes theorem. Now, as I'm always saying that mathematics, computer science, artificial intelligence, then data science, these are all are related things. Okay, related. What we can say that these are all the components of E, means a single part. Okay, means when you are interested to learn anything, you must have to means learn about other technologies also. So that's why I'm always saying that for the statisticals, means for the data science, you must remember about this one. That is, one is distribution, another is regressions, and third is statistical inference. Means when we are talking about the distributions, that tells that how the values are spread. Regression always helps us to predict numerical outcomes, and statistical inference, I think everyone know about that one. There is a population, we are taking a sampling technique and we are finding the inference related with that. Okay, so when we are talking about the basic data science cycle, so at a time you must have to work on the data. After that, that will be converted in a form of model, estimate that model, find out the predictions and probabilities, and make the decisions accordingly. Now let us connect the statistics in a real applications. Spam detection uses probabilities. Healthcare uses statistical evidence and risk predictions. Fraud detections look for the unusual patterns, and predictive analysis forecast future outcomes. All these applications have something common. They are, what is that common? क्या common है इसमें? All applications. I tell about the spam detection, health, fraud detection, predictive analysis, and customer churn. What is the common over here? The common is there is an incomplete data. And when we have the incomplete data, data science plays the important role to make the prediction properly. Okay, so that's why we are working on a data science. If we have the incomplete data, they are making such type of model, you will get idea about that one and make the proper inference with 100% correctivity, accuracy. Now let us bring everything together. Okay, we have learned about discrete mathematics. We know that linear algebra, calculus, probability, and statistics, if they come together, they form a mathematical foundation of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Means, suppose you are interested to learn about the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science, you must have to learn about discrete mathematics, linear algebra, calculus, probability, and statistics. That are the important terms. So that's why we are always saying that mathematics is a language, AI is an application, and by combining this together, so that will be create a new future, that is advanced computing. Look at this mathematical map I have given over there. Okay, as we know that linear algebra gives us representations, calculus gives us gradient and optimization, probability gives us uncertainty, then statistics gives us inference and estimations, discrete mathematics gives us logic, graphs, and algorithm. So if you want to become a strong in AI, don't ask which subject is I have to study. You have to ask how do you mathematical ideas work together. That is the important thing. So that's why when you are interested to work on the advanced computing, you are the mathematics student, try to implement all these 5 terms. Okay. Then Just 10 minutes, I'll take that one. Okay. Machine learning algorithm. Okay. This is also based on a mathematical concept. Okay. But I want to give the brief idea about the machine learning over here. There are three broad approaches we are using. Number one is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. Okay. So when we are talking about that, supervised means you know the input and output, means that is called as a labeled data, and you are working on a supervised learning. That the example of this, that suppose there is a email coming for you, and you have to check that whether that is a spam or not spam. Okay. Another part is that you don't know the output. That is called as unsupervised learning. That is called as we don't have the label and we are working with that. At the time we can form a clusters, groups, and we can work on a unsupervised learning. And third one is a reinforcement learning. That is very much important. If any small child is learning something, you know that you are giving a reward or you are giving something to them. So at the time he can act again and again for that one. So that is considered as a reinforcement learning. So that's why you must have to understand that one. The artificial intelligence and machine learning based on the data, mathematics, and computations. Okay. Then some of the terms are available with the machine learning. Is suppose you are interested to make any application or you are interested to make any research. So at the time you must know the supervised learning, unsupervised reinforcement learning, but along with that you must know about the support vector machines, decision trees, and clustering. Okay. As you know about that one, support vector machines uses the geometry and optimization techniques. When we are talking about the decision trees, that uses the information measures and the logic. And suppose we are talking about the clustering, that uses the distance and the optimizations. Now, another important part, that is we can say that advancement of machine learning, that is called as a deep learning. The basic level of a neural network performs mathematical transformation. Okay, I have given one example that h equals to sigma of wx plus b. First we perform in this equation, first we perform the linear transformation, then we apply non-linear activation, then we will connect many such units and stack many layers together. We have form a deep learning neural network. Okay. So here we are using training, loss functions, back propagations, and gradient and optimizations. Okay. Now let's leave the equations of the movement. Let us look at the technology we use every day. There is where our mathematics journey become real, and when we will begin with perhaps the most visible example today, that is called as a chat GPT or large language model. Had you heard about the large language model? Okay, do you know the long form of GPT? You are using GPT. That is called as a generative pre-trained transform. Okay, means pre-trained means they have given that particular, in real world what happened that okay, you use the YouTube, okay, or you are using any website related with the e-commerce, okay, or you are using Instagram. At the time what happened that when you are seeing some content, after that you will get a similar advertisement immediately on that. Okay, that is means it continuously pre-training, means there is a pre-training to that particular generalized large language model. Okay, that will be get trained, and after that you will get the result. As you know that if you are using working on a Netflix or something YouTube, if you are seeing any movie, you will get immediately, you will get a similar movie as a recommendations. Okay, so that are working on the large language model. Okay, and the part of the large language model, or we can say that the foundation of large language model is a mathematics. So here I given three familiar example related with the Google search, recommendation system, and face recognition. Okay, Google has to rank relevant information. Recommendation system compares users and items. Face recognition compares mathematical representation of faces. Notice that all follow the similar pattern. Okay, whether they are, these are the different applications, but they are with using a same pattern. That is, a representation is there, then they are going to find the similarity or relevance, and you can able to make the decision for that. Okay, so this is the one of the most powerful idea in a modern AI. Now look at this AI applications. Self-driving car, you heard about that, self-driving car, healthcare AI, then financial system, and robotics is also there. So why this is mathematics is important over here? Because in self-driving car, geometry, probability, optimization, and computer vision techniques are used over there. That's why mathematics have the lots of scope over here. Okay, because if you are very good in mathematics, you can design any application. Okay. Then when we are talking about the healthcare AI, artificial intelligence, so at the time we are using a pattern recognition concept, risk prediction concept, and also we are working on a statistics. And if we are working with the robotics, the geometry is there. We must have the knowledge about the geometry, calculus, control theory, and artificial intelligence. So I would like to finish with a simple message that the mathematics is not a prerequisite to escape. It is a language that makes the prediction possible in computing. Logic gives the structure, we know about that one. Algebra gives a representation. Calculus gives a learning. Probability gives us a uncertainty. Statistics gives us evidences, and algorithms gives us, that is, computations. So I'm always saying that if you want to learn about the modern computing or advanced computing, you must have to learn about the logic, algebra, calculus, statistics, and algorithms. So dear students, don't think about that one. Mathematics is only related with the classroom part, or that is only used for the examination, but that will be also important in a real life. That is my final message to you. So all the research scholar, all the teachers, those who are from the mathematics background, definitely they can do the research in computers, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. This is the, there are lots of vast scope is available, and now don't bother about the programming, coding, and all, because in now generation no one is using that coding. Okay, everyone is using drag and drop technology. So within a second you can able to create an applications. Okay, and lots of tools are available. Just study that tools. Okay, that is the important one. And I hope that you had understand this one. Any queries or any questions from your side, please go ahead, sir. Thank you. Any questions? Yes, sir.
काफी रील आती है क्वांटम एआई के थ्रू म्यूचुअल फंड में 22,000 इन्वेस्ट करने से महीने के 2-2.5 लाख रुपए आसानी से बनाए जा सकते हैं और ये फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर की वॉइस में
हम्म,
इसकी ये कमेंट्री होती है,
हाँ,
तो कितना रियल है और कितना एआई है,
Yes,
और वो हम
yes.
कैसे समझे?
Yes, that is the important thing. There are lots of ways are available. Now you know about that one. As we are saying that AI is good, okay, but every coin has two sides, or there is an advantage and disadvantage is also available. Okay, so when we are talking about that one, so I'm always saying that don't rely completely on AI. Even you are using a GPTs and Gemini, all the GPTs tools are available, but don't rely on that one. Okay, that is always you means you have to test that one. Okay, means when we are talking about this completely, this is a defect concept. You are talking about that. There are lots of deal are available. Now you heard about the lots of scams are going, financial scam. Okay, even you will get a phone call also in your father's or mother voice. That will get happen. So that's why there is a lots of problem related with the AI tools. Okay, so if there is a real something related with this financial consideration, so don't rely on that. That is the defect technology they are using, and that is very harmful, sir. So that's why always I'm we are talking about the advantages side for that one. Suppose students are interested or research scholar are interested to do a research, so this is the best area where lots of potentials are available, because mathematics is not a limited, okay, because that comes in under the this in physics also, chemistry also, everywhere mathematics is a foundation, and computer science is an allied branch of mathematics. Everyone have to understand that. So that's why you are the father or mother of that mathematics. If you are means learning the mathematics, so you can easily go to the computer science field. So that's why I'm always saying that don't rely completely rely on GPTs. Okay, when they are giving an answer or making a slide on that, first you must have to check out that one. What are the is there any mistakes of that? Okay, but the accuracy of AI is up to 90% always. Okay, so you must have to use that one, but try and test first before use. Anything else? Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Okay, please.
Sir, can you explain eigenvectors and eigenvalues again?
Yeah, yeah, I'll take that also. Yes. I'm talking in terms of simply computer science one. Okay, I'm not talking about that one that is related with the mathematics. Okay, but you must have to understand that one. When we are talking about the vectors, you know that about uh, imagine transforming a vector. Is it okay? Most of the vectors change the directions and length. We know that vectors changes the directions and length, but some special vectors maintain their directions. Okay, that will be considered as an eigenvector. Okay, and second thing is that when we are talking about that directions, how much amount of stretching and shrinking can be happened, that will be considered as a eigenvalue. Okay. And why this is important? Because that is used in the directions of variations. Anything else? Okay, thank you.
On behalf of the organizing committee and the entire institutional family, I extend our profound gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Ashish Sasankar sir, for delivering such an exceptional and illuminating masterclass today. Sir, your presentation has perfectly captured the core theme of today's workshop, providing exactly how mathematical sciences goes beyond the classroom. You beautifully illustrated how mathematics is truly the underlying language behind all modern technology, giving us brilliant real world examples of the complex science driving platforms we use daily, like Google search engine and ChatGPT. Thank you, sir, for showing us how fields like linear algebra, probability, and statistics form the bedrock of machine learning. Your explanation of how math helps us deeply understand a problem and calculate the most efficient path to reach a desired goal was incredibly eye opening. We especially loved how clearly you mapped out the structural relationship, how mathematics identifies patterns, how computer science builds the algorithm procedures, and how artificial intelligence ultimately learns from the data to make smart predictions and decisions. What made your session truly come alive beyond the classroom was your deep dive into the practical geometry of AI, seeing how everyday data like Excel sheets and images are fundamentally matrix based, and learning how AI uses vectors to process image pixels through matrices for embedded classification was absolutely fascinating. Your real world breakdown of how these mathematical structures are actively implemented in technologies like face recognition completely changed how we view core mathematics. Hearing these heavy technological paradigms, these broken down so seamlessly by a premier technocrat with over 25 years of rich academic experience has been an immense privilege. Your strategic insights as an empaneled math assessor have given our faculty and students a clear roadmap for the future of higher education. I once again thank you, sir. And now we shall have a break of 5 minutes. The tea will be served in the auditorium itself. Thank you, everyone.